is Easter really about? Why does Uncle Paul talk about it every single year? Where is Uncle Paul? Should I ask him all about Easter?
Captain Eli, you are still here.
Uncle Paul, can I ask you something? Why do we make such a big fuss about Easter every year?
It is because Easter is a big part of our Christian life. Why don't you come and sit with me as I tell you a story that will help you understand better? The love God showed for us through His Son Jesus is amazing. Long ago, in a quiet town called Bethlehem, a couple arrived tired and exhausted from a long journey. The couple, Joseph and Mary, were expecting their first child. On that night in Bethlehem, there was absolutely no place for them to shelter for the night. They could only find a stable. Mary gave birth to the child she was carrying in her womb. They gave him the name Jesus because he would save his people from their sin. And that sin had come into the world through our first parents, Adam and Eve. And because they were the very first parents, it means that everybody born in this world is born with sin and separated from God. Jesus, having been conceived by the power of the Holy Spirit and born to be punished for the sin Adam and Eve had committed, he himself did not sin, but the sin of our first parents was put on him, and he was crucified on a cross for that sin and died. Through his death, he defeated the sin that made everybody born in the world to be separated from God. But his death was only the beginning. On the third day, after his death on the cross, the most amazing thing happened. Jesus came back to life. And when his disciples heard about it, they ran to the tomb that they had laid his body in, not knowing what they would find. When they got there, Jesus was not in the tomb. He had risen from the dead, just like he said he would. He had defeated sin. He defeated death and made a way back to God.
Jesus did all that for us?
Yes, Captain. That is why Easter is not just a story. It is our hope as Christians.
So, if he didn't rise, then none of it would matter?
That's right. If Jesus had stayed in the grave, the cross would just have been another tragedy. But he didn't stay. He rose. Because he lives, everything matters. There would be no victory, no forgiveness, no way back to God. But he did rise.
Now I understand why we celebrate.
Next time, I will tell you about a young boy called Mephibosheth in the Bible. Till then, read more about Jesus from the Bible.